Germany, the UK, and France, once regarded as Europe's three major powers, are experiencing a noticeable trend, a shift to the right. Far-right parties in these nations are gaining ground, subtly but profoundly reshaping Europe's political landscape. The causes of this rightward shift are often traced to economic instability and perceived weaknesses in leadership. Shall we start by looking at the situation in Germany?
Ich finde, es ist etwas ganz Besonderes, Bundeskanzler dieser Republik zu sein. Es ist eine große Herausforderung. Ich bin sehr dankbar, dass ich nun von den Bürgerinnen und Bürgern dieses Landes und vom Deutschen Bundestag den Auftrag gekriegt habe, das zu machen.
3 years have passed since Olaf Scholz succeeded Angela Merkel, who led Germany for 16 years as the nation's chancellor. Upon taking office, Scholz introduced reforms across the economy and society, including raising the minimum wage, expanding renewable energy initiative, and promoting digital transformation. However, 3 years on, his leadership is facing mounting criticism for failing to effectively navigate Germany's deepening economic crisis. Once celebrated for its robust manufacturing and export-driven economy, centered on the automotive sector, Germany now finds itself struggling to adapt to the demands of the digital era, mired in what some call a low-growth swamp. In fact, Germany's Ministry of Finance reported a shocking economic growth rate of minus 0.3% for 2023, with a further decline of minus 0.2% for 2024. The primary factor blamed for Germany's economic troubles is the failure of its energy policy. In April 2023, Germany shut down its last 3 nuclear power plants. But with the Russian-Ukraine war cutting off imports of Russian natural gas, electricity prices surged dramatically, severely impacting energy-intensive industries like manufacturing. Germany's heavy reliance on exports to China and insufficient investment in digital transformation have further eroded its global competitiveness. This is most evident in the automotive industry, where Germany is losing market share to Chinese electric vehicles. Even Volkswagen, a symbol of German industry and a leader in internal combustion engines, recently announced that it would shut down at least 3 of its 10 domestic factories for the first time in its 87-year history, since its founding in 1937. Amid these challenges, Chancellor Scholz's inability to present a clear vision or demonstrate decisive leadership has only deepened public dissatisfaction. Chancellor Olaf Scholz faces a confidence vote in December 16th. With approval ratings stuck between 20%, he risks going down in history as Germany's shortest-serving post-war chancellor.
We will rebuild the infrastructure of opportunity, the world-class schools and colleges, the affordable homes that I know are the ingredients of hope for working people.
The situation in the UK is similar. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who took office after a landslide victory in the snap election this July, has seen his approval ratings plummet just 3 months into his term. Recent polling shows support for Starmer's Labour Party at 28%, marking the first time since the election that it has fallen below the Conservative Party's 29%. Starmer's declining popularity is closely tied to economic challenges and shifting public sentiment. In his first budget, he announced tax increases amounting to around £40 billion, the largest hike in over 3 decades, drawing criticism for breaking his campaign pledge to shield the working class from tax increases. However, the UK's economic troubles began long before Starmer took office. The political turmoil caused by Brexit weakened trade relations with the EU, leaving British businesses to face high tariff and trade barriers. Meanwhile, London has seen its status as a financial hub diminish as companies relocate to the European continent in search of better opportunities. The Russia-Ukraine war has intensified the crisis, driving up electricity, heating, and food crisis. With inflation exceeding 10%, real wages have declined and consumer confidence has plummeted, further slowing economic recovery. Despite these challenges, the UK government has little choice but to maintain austerity measures. Public debt now stands at roughly 100% of GDP, and the budget deficit is at 6% of GDP, largely due to subsidies from pandemic-era stimulus programs. On top of this, issues with trade, security, and immigration have compounded, further diminishing the UK's standing on the global stage. After 14 years, the Labour Party has returned to power under Keir Starmer. But can he rise to the challenge and lead the UK to recovery? Emmanuel Macron, president of France, has pursued pension and labor market reforms, promising to transform France into an economic powerhouse. However, the resulting political isolation and economic challenges persist. The Macron administration raised the retirement age from 62 to 64 to ensure fiscal sustainability. Yet, this sparked massive strikes and protests, further dampening France's economic activity. Rising youth unemployment, sluggish consumer spending, and surging national debt have left France's fiscal policy increasingly constrained. Recently, President Macron faced a further backlash by appointing a hardline right-wing politician as prime minister over a leftist candidate who won the parliamentary election. The move has deepened dissatisfaction among opposition parties and citizens alike. The leadership and economic crisis in Germany, the UK, and France underscore the growing instability of Europe's core powers. If these challenges persist, Europe risks losing not only its political unity, but also its influence on the global stage. How will these nations overcome their crisis and restore economic and political leadership? The world is watching closely as the future of Europe and its place on the global stage hangs in the balance.